Thank you for listening and welcome to the Life Podcast, a proud member of the Eventide Entertainment Podcast Network. I'm your host, Don Smith. Charlie sticks around for some more craziness and shares her love of White Castle sliders. Columbus's Tom Plute is in the studio with us to take it all in. If you enjoy the show, like and follow the Life 1069 on Facebook and Don Smith Comedy on Twitter, or tune in live on Tuesdays from 7 to 9 p.m. on WWSU 106.9 FM, or you can stream the show live at WWSU1069.org.
The brutal presence overwhelms me. The brutal presence overwhelms me.
She went to powder her nose in a whole different way. Hey! Are we in the air?
We are now.
Oh, you surprised me with that. Oh, crap. Yeah, at least you said crap this time.
I counted down, Don. You don't have an excuse.
I'm just messing with you, Patrick. What time? Well, give me a time.
Oh, shoot. I almost said it.
I thought we were going to have
10105.
I was going to have to wipe your crap out of there, too. 10105. That sounds like it. Sounds like yeah,
that is a strange time.
And it's 8:06:44. Yeah. Hey, welcome back to the Life Radio Show.
Yeah.
Hold on, I have a mint in my mouth while I'm talking.
Oh, did you take one of my mints?
No, I had one in my pocket.
Oh.
I got pocket mints.
We're
Would
double
you like
mints.
Yeah,
we're the double mint twins.
Unite. Hey.
What the heck is an expo marker
This is
doing
not
in
a
my
professional
pocket?
show.
Oh,
I'm
not
sorry.
at all. Have you gathered
I
that?
listened to it on the way in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, we're screwed.
All the last 5 miles of the trip.
Yeah, ever since you could pick up the signal in the parking lot.
I thought you were joking with me. I kept looking at the signal, and I was like, this station's got to pick up at some point. I'm 6 minutes away from the station.
Oh, yeah.
That's
We get
amazing.
more listeners somewhere, I guess. Anyway, we're back on the Life Radio Show. I'm your host, Don Smith. Hi, there you are. My co-host is in, Charlie Hester. The lovely Charlie Hester is still hanging out with us. And Tom Plute
That's me.
has made it in from Columbus.
I did.
Welcome aboard.
Oh, thank you.
I heard that you are the comic man about town.
Oh, really? From who?
From Don. Well, didn't you say that? Never mind.
I said he was a finalist in the World Series. You are a finalist already because you at least placed at one of the satellites.
That's true.
Not at Wiley's. You didn't.
Not at all.
Not at Wiley's, but you know.
So
well,
which
I
one-
was judging, so
which
I'm.
one-
Oh, okay. Right.
That explains a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't judging that night. Somebody else was judging that
Sure.
night. Yeah,
I believe you.
So what satellite did you place at?
The Jokers.
Okay, in Indy?
Indianapolis.
Oh, okay.
And I was at the finals last year as well. Placed
Okay.
at Fort Wayne, which was not part of the.
No,
satellites this
Fort
year.
Wayne was not part of the
I don't know why.
satellites.
Oh,
yeah.
wait,
Who knows?
at
Who
the
knows?
Fort Wayne Comedy Club?
Yeah,
Okay.
because they were a satellite last year for the World
Right.
Series, but they weren't
Gotcha,
this year.
gotcha.
Just like Wiley's probably won't be next year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well,
We're
nice
not
talking to you guys.
Have a wonderful night.
Thanks for coming in.
I'm going to try not to laugh directly into the microphone and
that's a-
ruin your show.
Oh, no,
I don't know if
oh,
you
no,
heard
that's-
about my laugh, but
that's-
it does not. People don't like it.
What?
People really
Who
don't
doesn't
like
like a laugh?
it. Oh, my laugh. That's for sure.
We're
Really?
gonna have to hear it at some point. We're
Yeah.
gonna have to.
We'll see.
We're gonna have to really
I'm
try
trying
to say
keep it-
something
I'm trying
funny.
to keep it muted.
Why?
Never mute your
But,
laugh.
yeah.
Did you hear Holly?
I did.
Yeah, never mute your
All
laugh.
right. I'm going to get right on top of the microphone then.
Yeah.
We
We
had
have
Holly
a pop filter
yeah.
on your microphone for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
We had Holly in there on his show before my show started with
Okay.
a guest named the nickname the Laughing Chipmunk. And
Okay.
hearing those two go at it was just fantastic. I love that kind of laugh, that distinct.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. It's just like having a snorter in the audience when you're on stage.
Right.
There is nothing better.
Right.
You know, it's like it's going to make a comparison between a snorter and a squirter because it's almost
okay.
as much joy, but
Almost
not
as
quite.
much fun.
Almost.
I think I like one a little bit more than you.
Yeah. Because that snorters are great.
Exactly.
There's so much cleanup after the other.
Yeah, exactly.
You gotta buy new
exactly.
sheets.
Yeah,
It's the whole thing.
I've never had to wash the bedding after a snorter.
If you have snorters at your comedy club, make sure you're serving Coca-Cola.
Right, exactly. We serve Pepsi at Wiley's. Yeah, Anyway, so what's happening? What have you been up to? I know World Series at Wiley's this past week.
Did that, and right before that, wrapped up the Whiskey Bear Comedy Festival.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Columbus. I'm one of the producers of that.
Okay.
I was just at Dustin's.
Yes, you were at Dustin's last night. I'm sorry I didn't make it out.
No, it's okay.
Oh, God. Okay.
No,
we can move on.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
I was,
I mean, it's a house show.
I mean, but you know how, like, sometimes as a comic, like, other people are like, oh, everything was great, but, like, you know what you're capable of, and you're disappointed in yourself. And I think it was one of those moments for me. So, but
which is why you had to have White Castle.
Yeah.
And regret it.
And then regret it.
You had White Castle?
Yeah. I did.
Last night,
I had Uber Eats deliver it to me at Dustin's house. And so, but like, they have this really nice couch in their living room. And like, about 8 o'clock this morning, I could start feeling the rumble. And I'm like, oh, man, I need to get on the road and get some place where, like, I'm not going to ruin furniture.
Yeah, you don't want to do that in a friend's house.
No, so then,
It's like, hey, just text them on the way back to Dayton. Like, hey, by the way, your toilet's clogged. And there's something to clean up on the couch, too.
Well, and you can hear a lot.
My bad.
I left you some chocolates.
But, like, their bathroom isn't, like, soundproof. And so I was
Who's
like,
this? Do you have a soundproof bathroom?
Well, yeah, I do.
Oh, really? You got like the foam up, like the soundproof?
Got the eggshell crate stuff on the walls.
That's some foresight right there.
Well, yeah.
That's thinking ahead.
Well,
yeah. Soundproof in your bathroom.
Yeah.
Get one of those white noise makers.
If you need to.
So, but no, then I just got on the road and then I went and pooped in a really posh grocery store bathroom.
Fantastic.
Like a Whole
fantastic.
Because they have double ply.
Well, yeah, you don't want to go. You don't want to go poop where there's sandpaper toilet paper. That's never
not with
good.
what I was dealing with.
Yeah, not like a Kroger or something like
that. I've got like another 500, 600, 700 miles of driving I got to do this week. I'm not.
Maybe stay away from White Castle.
Yeah. No more White Castle.
And if you're going south, stay away from Crystal.
Who's Crystal?
She'll get you.
So how long have you been performing stand-up comedy, and what got you started? That's something I always ask.
I will be 8 years next week.
Oh,
congratulations!
awesome.
My comedy birthday next week.
Hey.
Which I don't know if I'm excited.
So I just celebrated
years.
my 5-year a couple of weeks ago.
Nice.
It was It was very depressing.
A lot of comedy birthdays are around this time of year for whatever reason.
Yeah,
I don't know why that is.
It doesn't make a lot of
starting,
sense.
Like June, April.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
Because actually, John Morris and I share the same comedy birthday because we were both at Wiley Sunday Comics for our first open mic.
Oh, really? Yes. On the same day?
Yes, it was magical.
It's guy love between two guys.
And he's actually a new hire at Wiley's now. He's going to be cooking for us now.
That's amazing. Yeah. I like John. John's a good guy.
Yeah, John's awesome. Which it upsets me that we hired him on because he was doing so much work there for free.
Yeah.
It's like, why? Why are we hiring him? Yeah, that's ridiculous.
He's going to clean it up.
No, John is awesome. That's why we need to get him more stage time, not job in the. Don't stick him in the kitchen. He's a funny guy too. He should be on stage.
Right.
So yeah.
But yeah, I started. There used to be a mic in Columbus called Surly Girl. If you guys have ever heard of that, or gone
I
to
have
that.
actually. I haven't gone to it, but I've heard of it.
It's been like 3 years now since it's been gone. Oh man, it feels like forever. But I remember like when I first moved to Columbus, that's where I would go to hang out. And I didn't even know stand up was something you could do. But like I started meeting the comics at this open mic, and I started being friends with them, and I was like, oh.
Now, was that a good open mic, or was it?
Yes, it was.
Oh,
great.
okay.
It was like a legendary open mic.
It's always upsetting when a good one goes away.
Yeah, it was really good.
It's upsetting when a really good one or a really bad one goes away. Yeah.
Well, why is it upsetting for a bad one to go away?
Oh, those are brilliant. I love the third time I was ever on stage was at an open mic in Fairborn at the Chapter Bar.
Okay.
Was that the comedy killer we talked about with Stuart?
Yes, that one was rough because that one if I hadn't had shows booked already after that, I might have been that might have been the last show for me.
Yeah.
Because it was bad. And it never got better. I did that after that one because I was so upset when I left that. I thought I had like 3 other shows booked, and I was like, if I didn't have these booked, I'd be done because it was rough.
Yeah.
And I said, well, the only way to do this is to keep going back. So I did that 5 more times. I did that show that mic 5 more times before they finally shut it down. Not because of me. But the last one I was there.
But you were upset to see it go?
I was.
Really?
Because that's where you built your thick skin.
Yeah, I guess
and
so.
stuff like that.
And
Because
that's
there were comics that were afraid to go up there and do it.
Yeah.
And there were comics that stopped after that. There was one it killed me. It was the last one I did there. It was actually the best set I had, and I went up early. I went up right after the host. And the reason I had a good set is because this is kind of a crowd that wants to see somebody torn up, and I kind of laid into the host because he was supposed to do 7 minutes, and he did 2 minutes and was shaking so bad that he just walked off stage and said, "I'm done. Here's your next comic, Don Smith," and was gone.
Yeah.
I laid into him for like the first 2 minutes,
Right.
and then I went into my stuff. And that's what won the crowd, is just being a jerk to him, which I hated to do. But at the same time, it's like, if you said you can host and you said you can do this, why go off in 2 minutes and just completely fail? But the funny thing is, he was a little cocky. You don't have to bleep that.
He was peacocky.
Yes, he was a little peacocky. No, he's a nice guy. I like him. But he was a little... we were talking outside the show before it started. We were talking with some of the other comics, and there was one of the bar patrons was sitting out there smoking. And this guy asked, he said, well, how's the crowd usually here? And I looked at him. I said, well, when's the last time you bombed on stage? And he said, well, I've been doing comedy for about a year. I've really only bombed one time. And it was me and Gary Henry both.
That's adorable.
Yeah. Gary Henry and I looked at him in unison and said, this will be 2. And the old man that was sitting out there smoking looked at him and said, if you're as lousy as the rest of them, it will be.
That's
and
awesome.
he had the roughest 2 minutes I've seen in a while.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It made my first show there look like I did well.
Yeah.
But we need
And
those
he
nights.
has not performed comedy
But
since.
Surly Girl was epic in kind of a similar way because it was so good because a lot of the comics from all over the state would come to that open mic. So, like, there was really good comics there. And if you were newer, it was really, really hard to get the crowd on your side. Really hard.
Yeah.
And it was very intimate. It was the back room was no bigger than this studio.
Oh, wow.
So the crowd was on top of you. Like if there was only 10 people there, it felt crowded, and you could stare into the deadpan eyes of people not responding to you whatsoever.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So yeah, there's a lot of times, especially like when I first started, where I would go home and I would just cry. Like after that open mic, you're just like, what am I even doing? Like, why am I even trying this? But yeah, it gave you a thick skin for sure.
Oh, yeah. Well, one of my favorite moments at the chapter, I wasn't actually performing this night, but some guy walked in the middle of the show carrying a Bible. Walked in, sat at the bar, ordered a drink, opened the Bible, and just started crying hysterically.
Oh, no.
Just bawling it in the middle of a comedy show.
God.
And this guy is just sobbing over this Bible.
That's why they call it the chapter.
Wow.
That is rough.
Yes, it was.
What kind
man.
of line of thinking? You're just like, I am miserable today. I'm going to go to the
I
bar.
need
I'm
a
bringing
drink
the book
and a
with
good
me.
read.
But I need Jesus.
I need a drink and I need Jesus in my soul right now, and I need a good cry. That's at a comedy show.
Yep. That is
I don't
rough.
think he was expecting a comedy show, as none of the patrons at the chapter bar were expecting a comedy
always perfect
show.
setting
Yeah.
for a comedy show is when everyone there is not
Not-
expecting one to happen.
Yeah.
Well, I did one. Actually, there's one going on tonight at the Laughing in Paradise at the Paradise Key Cafe. I did that one once, and I walked into the bar and I asked the bartender. I said, "Where are you guys setting up the comedy show?" Well, I don't think we have a comedy show tonight.
Oh, no.
Perfect. This will be good.
Yep.
Is that in a little like shopping?
That is
like a
across
strip mall
from the
kind of thing?
casino. That's across from the casino on Needmore Road. It's the little casino
think
there.
I may
It's
have
right
driven
across the
past
street.
that
Yeah,
street, but-
it's
Anyway.
possible.
So,
Yeah, it's
are you going to be doing anything with the reincarnation of the whiskey barrel, working with Pat and those guys?
Yes, working with Pat, Nikki, and
And it's
Lisa.
hold on, 771.
70. It's the highway intersection.
Okay.
the 70-71 intersection
Oh,
in
okay.
Columbus.
Close.
So that's what we're going with.
Awesome.
But yeah, the more times I tell people about it, the more they don't get it. So it's like, do we want to panic change the name, or it's not like there's graphics or anything yet, but it's like, oh, people. When I tell them 70-71 Comedy Festival, they're like, what are you doing?
okay.
What are you doing? What's that?
Gotcha.
Yeah, I haven't heard of it either.
Gotcha. Okay.
But I would have
But
gathered.
also,
where
like
that
in the
is,
first
yeah.
year Whiskey Bear Comedy Festival, people were like, "What are you
Right.
talking
What
about?
is that?
What,
Yeah.
what are those two things don't
Yeah.
go together?"
Yeah. How'd the first year go of that?
The first year of Whiskey Bear,
Yeah.
so we went on for 4 years, and this was the last year. The first year, I don't remember. No,
Oh, okay. No. Must have been good.
It was good. It's definitely grown over the years,
Yeah.
for sure. So
Yeah, it's like there are so many amazing comics that do Whiskey Bear every year. You guys have done an awesome job at that.
yeah,
So
thank you so
it's
much.
really something that you can be
really
proud
not
of.
easy.
I know. I won't do it.
It's really way more hard than I thought it was going to
Oh
be.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
I'm going to have to submit to that one so I can get another rejection.
I'll be sure to write it myself.
Perfect. I want it personally written.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what-
yeah.
I
I'll
don't want
handwrite you a letter and mail it.
I want to be bad enough that I get a personal rejection letter, not some form letter.
Like, hey,
Yeah,
I
it's
just
like,
show
yeah,
up in
you
person
know,
like, hey.
Usually we just send a form letter that says no, but
Right.
you deserve so
There's like
much
an
more.
email response that we generically send out, but I'm
Yep.
here in person.
Yeah, you're getting a hand delivered.
Or you get like a PS at the bottom, and
Yeah.
it's just like rants about your
P.S. Don, if you're
lack of
reading this.
character. That's great. Well, congratulations
Yeah, great,
on
great.
Yeah.
keeping
I
that
look
going.
forward to it next year to be completely burned out and wanting to quit comedy again.
Yeah.
Or just like every year.
You really want to do that? Buy a comedy club.
God, wait, let's do that.
Yeah.
Perfect.
How do I get into that business?
Sold. Right. What do you got in your pocket?
$20.
Yeah, because of
You're-
Dawn.
All right.
Because of Dawn, I will never buy a comedy club.
Oh, yeah.
Because I have heard all of.
I love that
Nope,
club.
not
I
for
do.
me.
I
Yeah.
love
No,
it.
you
I
It's an amazing
absolutely
club.
love it.
I have some of my early
I love the
years
people
of
there.
comedy.
I love the Dayton comics.
Right.
If it weren't for them, I would have walked away.
Yeah.
I had some really awesome times in that club, opening up for like people that I admired.
Yeah.
And Wiley's gave me some chances early on. And
Yeah.
I blew those. Haven't been back since.
See, I did too.
Oh, my
I was
God.
actually banned from Wiley's before I bought it. Yeah,
Were
so,
you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was.
Nice.
If
Yeah.
you can't beat them, buy
Exactly.
them.
Yeah,
Exactly.
right.
Exactly.
Wow.
I said, "Oh yeah, well I'll show you," and they are laughing their butts off right now.
Because who got the short end?
Yeah. Can't kick me out when I own it.
They've tried. No,
Oh, really?
no. I do still have to beg for stage time. You know, it's every now and then I have to go up to Erica and say, "Erica, I want a weekend.
Yeah.
I host a weekend.
Right.
I'm not a feature. I just want to host." But I've hosted for some fun comics. I hosted for Joe Bates. I hosted for you.
You did.
Best weekend ever.
Oh, thank you.
You know that was actually a rough weekend for me. It really was. I did not want to go. I did not personally. Yeah, I did not want to go on stage any show.
Right.
Anyone had decent sets.
You did. You had great sets.
Saturday night was a fantastic crowd.
What was
both shows.
Why didn't you want to go on?
Personal things.
Yes. So
Yes.
sometimes it's the best time to go on.
And then Wiley Sunday Comics. After being up the whole weekend, I was signed up for the Sunday Comics too. And again, I actually tried to give my stage time away.
And they wouldn't let you.
Because Biscuit had come in. I was like,
Well, but
Biscuit, you want to
keep
go up?
griping about one
And-
stage
yeah.
time, and then you get it, and then what do? You try and get
Some
it
of my
away.
best times
But
on
nobody
stage
took it.
were when I was just a personal mess. Just a complete train wreck of a
That
person.
seems to be the way it is because I have good sets when I have nightmares going on up here.
Right.
Because that Sunday night set, usually when I write a new set, I'll write it out a couple weeks in advance. I'll do everything I can to commit it to
Sure.
memory because I don't like going up with notes.
Right.
That Sunday night set, I'd been on stage all weekend, so I was comfortable up there. I went up with a notebook with like just a handful of things scribbled down in there, just ideas I wanted to talk about, and I just kicked butt for 5 minutes and was very angry, and it was very therapeutic. It was great. It was fantastic.
I remember the first time I got to MC at Go Bananas. In between shows, I went out in the parking lot and I cried behind the dumpster.
Oh,
the whole time. And then like I was like, I have to go back in. Like it took everything in my power to walk back in that club. And as I'm walking back in, they're already doing the announcements. Like the music's playing. Like I'm about to go on stage. Like I'm still crying. And I went back and watched that video of that particular set. And you see me like run up on stage. It's just like, hey, everybody, welcome to Go Bananas Comedy Club. Like I couldn't. Like, this looks better than any other video that I got.
Well, yes, especially if you're hosting, because you have to be somewhat...
But I was like, I know 5 to 10 seconds before I was on that stage, I was trying to stop crying. And then I'm on that stage, and you can't tell any difference.
Exactly. Comedy's brutal, but that's the thing about it, is you can hide a lot.
Yeah, you really can.
You can hide right on stage in front of everybody.
Right.
And that's the way to do it. But yeah, I've had this past probably 6 months, I've had some really good sets when I have wanted to just take that microphone and jam it in somebody's rectum.
Nice.
Just not mine, pretty please.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood.
Wait, what? Is that reverse psychology?
No. I'm still dealing with the White Castle. So.
Okay. Point taken. I will steer clear.
Long way.
Oh, so anyway, what do you have coming up? You have shows coming up that you want to promote or throw out there, or did you already and I missed it because I wouldn't shut up?
No, I don't think I threw any dates out there.
Okay.
Intermittently. I don't even know. I haven't looked at my schedule. I know.
I like catching people off guard.
June 14th, I'm in a sketch show called Actual Woes at the.
I've heard of that. I've heard of that.
It's at the Upfront stage at Shadowbox Live in Columbus. I'll be at Comfest doing comedy.
Nice.
In Columbus. And what else do I have going on?
I don't
know off the top of my head.
Okay.
I don't pay attention to my schedule. I do this, and then I'll know what the next thing I'm doing.
Okay, well, that works. That works. So far, I got this, and that's what else you want. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you got the most important thing.
Right.
Being on this
71 Comedy Festival next year in May. So I got 2 shows. And then
and the finals of the World Series.
And then I take 11-month hiatus, and then
and that's September.
Now, see, you say that you're going to take a hiatus, but you're going to be running a festival.
Yeah.
You're not going to sleep for the next 11 months.
Right. Yeah. Right. And I have other shows. I just don't have them in front of me.
Right.
Take a look at my calendar online. It's
do you have a
website?
TomPluteComedy.com. I forgot I have a website.
Hey, there you
go.
Sometimes I accidentally put my dental appointments on there, so check that out. see if I have a doctor's visit coming
up.
Funny.
Tom, in case you miss it, prostate. No.
Yeah. I noticed that because I was checking out my website. This was like a few months ago. Because I just put everything in my Google Calendar, and then it appears on my.
That's funny.
Oh,
but
really?
if I put it under my comedy email on accident. It will just appear on my website. And so I was looking at my website, and it was like dentist office. I was like,
that's hilarious. Hey, this guy's performing at the dentist office. We'll have to find out where that is.
It had the address of my dentist office on it.
Oh, did it?
Because Google will locate it.
That's hilarious.
Meet my new sponsor.
My dentist. Yeah.
Wow.
All right. Go ahead.
That was a beautiful.
Well, I was going to say we got to take a break. We're through a half hour of this already.
Wow, that was quick.
Yeah, that was quick.
Yeah.
We work quick around here. Yeah. Right. So this next break coming up, we have a little more St. Mary, St. Michael.
Awesome.
No One Else. I don't mean we're not playing anyone. Well,
right,
we're
no,
not.
I don't
That's
know
the
that
only
song.
song we're playing, but the song's called No One Else, just in case. Yeah. It's
right.
It's good stuff. All right, Patrick, take us away.
Lesbian Nazi hookers abducted by UFOs and forced into weight loss programs. All this week.
First time I saw you standing right there before me, I tried to think of clever things to say, but I settled for how are you. Then I knew you were the one that God himself placed here for me. I know it's said all the time, but I don't care. It's how I feel. It's all 'cause there is no one else that I want by my side. There is no one else to hold me through the night. There is no one else that can keep me strong but you. Bad things seem alright, and you make the good things even better. There is nothing that could seem so important when I am thinking of you. Yeah, now when I look into your eyes, well, all I can see is my life with you. Now when I think where we've been, well, I can't help but get excited for where we'll be. It's all 'cause there is no one else that I want by my side. There is no one else that can hold me through the night. No, there is no one else that can keep me strong but you. Throughout the good times and the bad, I may not always like you, but I'll always be glad to have you by my side.
Hey guys, this is Mike Shea from Eventide Entertainment. As you may have noticed, our lineup has been a little scarce lately. We're currently going through some programming changes, and we'd like you guys to be a part of the team. If you've got a podcast or a radio show or an idea for something you'd like to put on the internet, we want to help you make that happen. Send us an email at eventideent@gmail.com with your show idea, and we'll help you get it on the air. What are the benefits of working with Eventide Entertainment? Well, to start with, we'll make sure that your show gets onto all of the best platforms, whether it's Spreaker or SoundCloud or iHeartRadio or Spotify and iTunes. We will get those on the air for you. Not only that, but you will be assigned an executive producer who can handle all of the post-production and editing for your show. All you have to worry about is just recording the show, and they will take care of the rest for you. So that is one less thing that you need to worry about. We've also got a graphics person who will design a custom logo for your show. We'll put together a customized promo for your show that'll play on other shows in the network. So we're all helping each other out. You'll also get your own specialized Dropbox folder and access to our private staff Facebook group. There is literally nothing to lose if you're a host and you join the Eventide team. So make sure you send us an email at eventideent@gmail.com. And for more information and to check out some of our other shows, make sure you check us out on our website, www.eventideent.com. And we hope to see you guys soon.
Hey, you. That's right, I'm talking to you. The word on the street is you think he's pretty funny. That's what I've been hearing anyway, that you's a funny guy. Well, how about you come out to Wiley's Comedy Club at 101 Pine Street in downtown Dayton's historical Oregon district and prove how funny you are. It's real simple. All you got to do is email WileySundayComics@gmail.com. Follow the instructions. We'll hook you up with some stage time. What's the matter? You scared? Don't be scared. Just get down here to Wiley's, and we'll see who's friggin' funny.
That's cute. I remember when I had my first beer.
Patrick just gave me the finger. Hey, welcome back to the Life Radio Show. He does that every time we come back from break. I don't get it. I don't get it.
You should put a camera on him.
Exactly. That's why he gives me the finger.
Yeah.
He doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't want to. Every time my show starts, I take the camera away from him. So we do. Although during his show, I didn't have a camera over here, so he returned the favor a little bit. Welcome back to the Life Radio Show. I'm your host, Don Smith. We're sitting in the studio with my lovely co-host, Charlie Hester.
Hi. I'm glad to still be here.
We've missed you for like 2 weeks.
I know.
I know. I mean, we had good shows, but they would have been better. You know, that's just the way it is. Tom Plute from Columbus is also in with us. Yeah. So where were we before we had to take a break? Who is sending me messages? I'm busy.
It's
Jeez.
not me.
Remember.
Yeah. So you have a new show.
Yeah.
I do?
You do? I just gave you this one. I'm tired of of hosting the radio show, so it's yours now.
What I didn't mention before is I host a showcase every. I didn't mention my own show I was like, I don't know what's coming up. It was like, oh, I've had this show for a couple years that I didn't bring up whatsoever.
You belong.
Yeah, at the Tree Bar in Columbus.
Oh, I like the Tree Bar.
Yeah, it's the
That's a really cool place.
Tuesday of every month.
The third Tuesday I'm going to have to get out to.
Have you not
Columbus?
done?
I have not been out to Columbus.
God, you don't go anywhere, Don.
I went to Zanies.
You went to Zanies.
I went to Jokers and Indy.
Yeah,
I'm trying to get out more now.
I know.
Jeez.
We need to like.
Columbus is not exactly like a comedy destination.
Well, it's something. It's something, you know.
Yeah. I mean, Zanies and Jokers, you know, that's great.
I think that Don should do the hot dog show.
Oh, yeah.
What, the Howard Stern thing where he gets porn models in?
Who
and
am I showing my
dogs
hot dog to?
No, it's Dustin's show. It's
Yeah.
it's a hot dog eating contest / comedy show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I'm not in.
Yep, you're
No,
in.
I can't.
I'm going to tell
I'm
Dustin.
booking it. I'm going to message him right now and be like, "Hey, you're going to book Don Smith."
So how does it work? Do you eat Do you eat as many wieners as you can, then try to go up and tell jokes
what
without
happens
bombing?
I mean,
is
that's what I do.
Dustin.
Well, yeah.
Oh boy.
That's you though. I mean, it's a special skill. I don't have that. You know.
You leave. You leave the room before your set, and then Dustin announces to the crowd, you get a tick, and if you hit that tick, he'll sound a buzzer, and then you have to eat a hot dog while you keep doing your set.
Oh, okay. So
someone could be like, hey, if you ask a question. That's a classic one that is one of the most funny ones
so
because
how long is
when
the
you're
set?
on stage, you can't stop asking questions.
Yeah.
I don't think I ask a lot. Do I ask?
You probably ask more than you'll
Probably do.
It'll point out in your set a lot.
Well, I kind of like that because it'll help you get rid of some bad habits
Right.
doing that.
But a lot of it can be just like if you touch your beard.
Unless you're hungry.
Like if you touch your beard during your set. Like I've seen people get like 17 hot dogs.
Yeah.
And then you have to stand on stage and finish all your hot dogs.
Yeah.
And that's when the show ends.
It's brutal.
Wow.
I mean, it's
Wow,
it is like comedy Thunderdome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like Comedy Fight Club.
Yeah.
With Nate Washington. Yeah.
It's great, but doing the show is awful.
Oh yeah. I don't think I'd be up for that.
There's a couple comics. I think there's 2 comics that are now immune, and they don't have to eat the hot dogs
I've been
anymore.
Immune. I've done it 5 times.
Oh my gosh, Tom!
But I think I've had immunity for 1 or 2 of them.
Okay.
So I only did it like 3 or 4 times.
You can get immunity?
Yeah.
If you do it too many times, he's like,
okay.
I'm tired of
feeding you.
Yeah.
Tired of feeding you.
Yeah.
This is a good show for comics to do if
Right.
they're broke. Is
having
just to get some
just
food.
the hardest gas for like 2 days after.
Yeah.
What's the most hot dogs you've had on a set before?
I think I have only had like 9, but still,
That's a lot of
That's
hot
still a lot,
dogs
yeah.
right there,
Yeah.
It's not.
How long a set do you have?
5 minutes.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
But yeah, some of the ticks, like you can hit it. You know, people just can't stop hitting it sometimes.
Huh.
You know, some people get away with like 4 or 5.
That'd be an interesting challenge, but you know, I'm
Depends
on
on
a
what you
keto
get.
diet. I couldn't eat the buns.
Are buns a requirement?
I'd have to hold the
Yes.
bun. I'd
Because
have to hold the
people try to
bun.
get away with like,
Right.
yeah, if you don't eat the bun,
I'd have to hold the
Yeah.
bun, just suck the wiener out of it. That's what.
You know what? I'd like to see
it's
this.
like just like that.
I would like to see this.
That's not how you do it, Don.
Really? Okay. I'll
Goes
take
down
your
your
word for it.
throat.
I'm very inexperienced with these things.
But I mean, but Dustin Meadows has like this beautiful, chaotic mind when it comes to comedy, and
Yeah.
he's on like levels that I can't even begin to comprehend.
Right.
And I just love being around him because you can see all of the wheels turning.
Right.
But I'm not
That's
catching
it.
it all. I
Yeah.
just know that they're buzzing by,
Right.
and it's awesome.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of respect for him. So,
Right. It's been great working with him on the festival for
Yeah.
4 years, too.
yeah. So anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, Columbus. I like Columbus.
Yeah, I'm going to have to get
all
out
right.
there.
It's all
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
We just don't have comedy clubs, so
Yeah.
it's tough.
Well, you got a funny bone out there, don't
We
you?
have the Funny Bone.
The fun- yeah.
Funny Bone.
Oh,
So
it's the original one, right?
it's the national headquarters for the Funny Bone.
Gotcha.
Oh,
like,
okay.
it's hard
okay.
to-
So yeah,
It's hard to get
yeah.
on that one.
Oh.
And then we don't have another comedy.
Yeah, funny bones aren't wild about local comics,
Yeah.
no matter where
Really?
you are. Yeah,
Right.
No, I'm
Let alone the national Funny Bone.
I'm at
right.
Funny Bone on Thursday.
That's for a showcase show, though. isn't it?
Yeah,
yeah,
I think so.
Yeah.
Sure.
yeah. You're talking about the one down in Liberty
Yes.
Township. Yeah,
Can we edit out the part where I'm talking bad about the Funny Bone so I can have a career at some
Nobody
point?
listens to this.
Okay.
Yeah.
You assume somebody important would listen to this show.
You can imagine
Oh, that is
Dave
adorable.
Droop at home. Come on.
Yeah.
Who is this?
Yeah.
Why did I mention him by name?
You were so man. You're
I'm
not
so bad
helping
at
yourself
comedy.
at all. Eat a hot dog.
Oh, thank God. This was all just a dream.
It's all a hot dog induced dream.
Yeah.
Should we hit some news stories? Are we ready for some news stories?
Gosh, it's that time.
It is that
It
time.
is that time.
Oh,
yeah,
tonight's going really fast.
It is.
Well,
it
that's a pretty
is. That's-
sweet clock. I didn't
Yeah.
know.
I know.
Yeah. Should
I
we do
gotta-
a news story on the clock or?
Do you have one about this particular
No, we
clock?
don't. We don't. We should make one up just to
Yeah,
throw it
yeah.
out there
It
sometime.
murdered
yeah.
7 people over the week.
Oh, that it did. It did.
There's a secret
let's
spy
see. Hey,
camera
there's-
in that clock.
It gives. We're just gonna call it the killing time story.
It kills time. There we go.
Can you imagine
It's the
having that
murderous
clock in like
clock
your
that kills
bedroom?
Dude, I
Perfect.
was
And you just
Perfect.
like illuminate the whole thing, just lying awake at night.
But I think that would actually be kind of cool. Maybe.
You-
Oh, that
would
would
you?
drive me
Would it?
nuts.
Well, I
I
can
think
never.
it would be with all the lights off and you're trying to go to sleep. That thing would be glaring.
I know,
Oh yeah,
but
it would
I
drive
have.
me insane.
Right.
I have to turn. I have a little alarm clock with a digital display. I have to turn it around backwards because it
Really?
keeps. I
That
have to have
bad?
darkness
Wow.
to sleep.
But
Yeah.
like, I always have to like put on my glasses in order to see what
Oh,
time
yeah,
it
you
is.
wouldn't
Right,
have to- you wouldn't
right.
have
And I
to-
think I'd
you
be
can
okay.
see that from the other side of a football
Yeah,
field.
it's pretty great.
I can
I'm
almost.
going to
it's
swing
like-
the camera
it's like,
just around here real quick so people on Facebook Live know what clock we're
It's
talking
like-
about there.
It's a big clock.
BH,
You can just leave it there. I don't need to be on
is
that.
what that- Yep. Are you good?
Yep.
Okay. Cool. I actually have a Columbus news story.
Ooh, I can't wait.
Yeah.
Is
boy.
it about me?
The Columbus Police Department opened an investigation on Ruth Gregson and her 65 cats in October after several neighbors reported small objects being stolen from their homes. Several victims reported being visited by Mrs. Grayson's cats before noticing the disappearance of several shiny objects, like valuable cutlery and pieces of jewelry. Despite their skepticism, investigators began a surveillance operation and were amazed by what they discovered. According to the Columbus Police Chief, Kim Jacobs, dozens of cats were constantly coming and going, bringing home, quote, anything that shined. Upon searching
That is pretty
Upon searching Miss Gregson's house, investigators found $650,000 worth of jewelry and precious metal among piles of worthless shiny baubles. A total of 65 adult cats and 17 kittens were found on the site and entrusted to the Columbus Humane Society. Chief Jacobs says the elderly woman confessed to training her cats to steal, saying the felines had to, quote, earn their meals.
Wow.
That's crazy. That's a real story?
That is
Columbus?
a real story.
That might be my neighbor.
You had some stuff come up missing?
I don't know. There's a lot of cats around.
What I
it
want to
could-
know-
It could
Yeah.
be. It could be.
What
Does
I
it say
find,
what part of town she's in?
No, it didn't. It didn't. It might have in the full article, but no.
Wow. How do the
How do you train a cat
They don't
to
have
steal?
thumbs. How do they get in?
Yeah.
Do they just
open a
run
window?
in?
Yeah.
Oh, who's just leaving the windows open?
I was going to say, I was in Columbus last night. None of my windows were open.
Right, exactly.
So,
Maybe they should have been after that
suckers
White
were locked
Castle.
Somebody opened the window somewhere. It might not have been you. Somebody's like, oh! And they opened the window.
Poor Dustin's house. I just left it in the haze.
Just imagine him just spraying.
Yeah, kind of like
what
our
is
lie.
that
We're never booking Charlie again. Takes too much Lysol.
Yeah, all new furniture next time you go over there. Like, we had to burn it.
There's nothing else we can do. That stuff went up quick.
Honestly, we just lit a cigarette near it and it just moved.
Yeah, but it wasn't our intention to light it up. It just happened.
I'm sorry for the gas buckets I left in your couch, Dustin.
A group of lowlife thieves trying to siphon fuel have discovered there's more than one holding tank on a tour bus. The unknown individual spotted the bus parked up in Laverton, central West Australia in the middle of the night. When they tried to pinch some free fuel, they mistakenly put the hose in the sewage tank, coping a mouthful of raw crap in the process. Police discovered the failed attempt when the sewage tank cap was found on the ground the next morning in a puddle of vomit, I would say. Laverton Police Chief Sergeant Heath Salter told Yahoo News, we can infer they beat a very hasty retreat with some bitter taste in their mouth.
Ooh,
yeah. Do they have White Castle in Australia?
I can't imagine they do, but
yeah, I don't know why they wouldn't, but except that it's White Castle. That's the only reason they wouldn't is, we don't want that here. Get that crap out of here.
That's your Australian accent?
What's yours?
Oh, no, I don't have one.
Making fun of me Australian accent. A woman was arrested. We're moving on from that crap.
All right.
Yeah, that's rough. What if you decided you like? What if you tasted it for the first time? You're like, I like this. Like, I'm kind of
You're a fecal-philiac.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Like you never tasted it before. You're like, not that bad.
Yeah.
Kind of got a taste for it.
Kind of nutty.
Cut that bit.
Tastes just like my life.
We'll edit that out. Tom Plute, this is Funny Bone and eats crap.
Oh. Ouch.
And that's how you discover your fetish. That's what I'm saying.
It turns out I'm only on the air for 4 minutes. Huh?
A woman was arrested in Ohio after she allegedly broke into a home, petted the family's dog, and washed the dishes. The Benton County Sheriff's Office said it received a call Monday morning about a burglary at a residence in the village of Hamden, about 80 miles south of Columbus. Deputies arrived at the home and spoke with an individual who said the woman had entered their residence through the back door, because they always do, sat down on the couch and began to pet the family dog, then washed the dishes and left. The individual told deputies they don't know the woman and she was never invited into their home. The homeowner noted the woman was acting very strange, according to the sheriff's office. Very strange as in, walking in, petting the dog, and washing the dishes and leaving. She wasn't invited into the home, but she was invited back. That's a little strange.
She didn't take anything?
Didn't take a thing. Just washed the dishes, petted the dog, and left.
Wish someone would break into my house like that.
Yeah, there was a story we talked about last week on the show where somebody had just broken into their house and cleaned.
Really?
And then left. I mean,
like they just saw in the window and they're like,
they even left origami flowers with the toilet paper.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like I thought. Well, they think that a maid just got the wrong house. And he happened to have the door unlocked, but that
makes much more sense.
But yeah,
I want a free maid.
Yeah, exactly.
Great.
Can somebody order a maid and give them the wrong address?
I'm sure they could.
Gifted a maid.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yep, we'll gift you a maid.
Just give out your address on the air.
Exactly.
Totally perfect idea.
Make sure you bat out the funny bone while you're doing it. So
you won't be there for weeks anyway, will you? So you'll be good. Your family might have some trouble, but you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Florida man was arrested Sunday after an alleged culinary confrontation in which police say the 27-year-old hurled an ear of corn at his mother's head.
Yep.
Cody Cummins was arrested.
Where is this?
Florida.
Yep.
Yep. That's a Florida.
Yep.
Cody Cummins was arrested at about 3:30 a.m. after being accused of the corn kerfuffle at the That is so stupid. At the Zephyros home.
It was corny.
Citing the Pasco County Sheriff's Office, Cummins is accused of throwing a corn cob at his mom. Officials said the woman was hurt, but didn't sustain any injuries in the food fight. So apparently something else. Apparently the mother.
She called the cops after getting hit with a corn cob?
That's corn hurt. Cummins allegedly fled the scene, but was later tracked down and taken into police custody. They followed the Colonel trail. Online arrest records show he was charged with domestic battery.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
His mom charged him after throwing a corn cob at him.
Why not?
Did he throw it at?
It's very disrespectful.
Wow.
If you lived in that trailer park, you would understand.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know the full family history.
They all had their ears to the ground.
Yeah.
Puns are my thing. I can't stop.
And they're so much fun.
Yeah. Never mind. I was going to do a joke about stalking, but because of corn stalk. Never mind. It's bad.
Okay.
My brain farted and I couldn't make it work.
At least it was your brain this time.
Wow.
Did your brain have White Castle too?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I mean, the brain is the one
home.
who...
I'm not going to lie. I really want some.
The
brain's the one who made
closest fast food place to my home is a White Castle.
Right.
And it's a 24-hour one, and it's wildly dangerous.
Oh, yeah.
I can go there at 3:30 in the morning.
Now, see, I was really disappointed.
Well, it being close to the house is a blessing, though, because I usually can't get more than 2 down before I have to go anyway. I mean, it just they call them sliders for a reason. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I was just disappointed because when I got my Uber Eats order, I did not get my ranch and bacon French fries, which are my jam.
Yeah, those are clutch.
Yeah, because those I can eat without any consequence.
Yeah.
And so I didn't have those to like sort of even the playing field that was about to happen in my colon. And so
to absorb the impact.
Yeah. And that's why it became an issue.
I'm going to say we have 7.5 minutes left. We do not yet have a title for this episode.
Oh no.
So if we don't come up with something better, that's our title.
What is
it? Just says Charlie farted. Honestly, Don, there were a few times when I gambled and nobody noticed. So just call it that.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's fine. I fart. I poop. I talk about it. I'm not
while
ashamed.
We're in here, you shouldn't be.
Yeah. I don't understand why people don't like talking about it.
About farting?
Like they don't poop or they don't fart. Everybody does.
Everybody poops.
Everybody poops.
There's a whole book. Yeah, there's a whole book about that. Years ago, I worked at this facility. This guy, Mike, won't say his full name.
I
hope he says the last name.
This guy was a jerk.
Oh boy.
Well, I worked at this warehouse. I used to mess with this guy all the time. Well, it was a warehouse, bunch of grimy, dirty guys. I'm not pooping in the regular restroom. I'm going up to the offices to the clean one.
Sure.
Well, as I'm walking through there, I walk past the receptionist, an attractive young blonde that couldn't stand me anyway, but that's a whole different story. There's a reason for that.
Oh, boy.
Which is also a funny story with a good zinger that I got in that actually made her so mad she left the smoke shack and didn't talk to me for about 4 weeks, and I thought it was totally worth it. But as I'm walking up there, here comes this guy was one of our supervisors. He was like, actually, I think he was an assistant GM. She's got a fart again.
Yeah. Making a break for the door.
Yep. Be careful. And now she's locked out. Oh, man. But anyway.
Well, so much for that.
Dang it, Charlie.
Yep.
Here she comes.
Is she okay? Is she okay? Was it? I told you you're locked out. So anyway. Now, We always called this guy
great.
we always called this guy a baby anyway. We just kept saying he was a big baby. And I'm going past the reception area up to use the clean restroom up there, and he comes up. Where are you going? You got to poop? And I'm just doing this the whole time. I said, yeah, everybody does it, Mike. It's okay. Someday you'll be man enough to do it on your own too. And this. We always called this guy a baby, so the next day I came in, I had gone and found like some Goodwill. I found like a bronze pacifier and the book Everybody Poops.
Yeah.
So I gave it to him. It was sitting on his desk when he came in, which made him mad.
Oh, I'm sure.
There's a kicker to this story, because when the guy left, actually a result of some things that I had done, they ended up getting rid of him. Because of something that I started, a movement that I started.
So many questions in this story.
Oh, there are. This was such a. I worked there for 4 years, and they
like,
hated
what did you
my
do
guts.
to these people?
I think I got like 8 supervisors fired over the 4 years I was there, and
like,
this guy was an assistant. This guy was an assistant GM.
I don't think I want to be co-host anymore. Don.
Like there's so many things to unpack.
It seems like career suicide.
When they were making the announcement that this guy, they weren't firing him, they were transferring him to another facility. So we're all in this meeting in this warehouse full of people, and everybody knew that I kept referring to this guy as just a big baby the whole time I worked there, and they knew about the pacifier, the baby poops book, all this stuff. And they're not telling us what facility he's going to. So finally I asked, like, where you going, Mike? It's like, well, I'm going to another facility. I was like, what facility, Mike? And I just kept pestering. Finally, he told me, he's like, Gerber.
Oh.
I fell on the floor. I was laughing. I was in tears, and that was the end of the meeting. He left. There were 60 people in that room that all knew this about him.
Right.
Oh, that was such a wonderful moment in my life. I hated that job, but I loved making that man miserable because he was such a piece of... Huh?
What'd you do?
What do you mean?
Like, what was the job?
Oh, it was a warehouse. I was a forklift driver in there. It was a crap job, but yeah, it was hilarious. That I had so much fun there.
There's so much talk about crap, and
there is.
I almost said the S word again.
we're just a filthy show tonight. We are very, very filthy. Should we hit another news story?
Do we have time for one more?
Yeah, we have time for one more. We'll make it a quick one. An 86-year-old man is being treated for rabies after being bitten by a bat wedged between the back of his iPad and its case.
What?
Roy Syverson from New Hampshire in the U.S. told WMUR-TV that he had been using the tablet for about an hour before the creature popped out its head and nipped him. The pensioner said it felt like a bee sting at first, adding, I looked and the bat was coming out of here between the cover and the back of the pad. And then I got up, still squeezing it, and I'm sure he wasn't happy about that, and took him outside. The next morning, Mr. Syverson said the bat was still there and alive, but he later discovered that it died later that night. So it was rabid. He got rabies from a bat that was hiding in his iPad case.
How? How does it even fit in there? Like a tiny little bat.
He must have had it open and sitting there or something, and it was back behind it. I don't know. It was kind of weird.
And he said he was using it for an hour before the bat was just like, what's going on?
Well, he's 86 years old. He's probably...
Well, you think he's probably pounding on it.
He probably didn't have an iPad. He just picked up a bat thinking that's what it was. Yeah. And he's just poking this thing the whole time. He's just poking on this bat till it finally had enough. I've had enough of it!
The screech is the ringtone. The echolocation ringtone.
Yep, there you go. That's...
Weird.
That is weird and creepy. You got to check. You got to check your iPads for bats. Yep, and watch out for a 15-foot 4-inch python. Wow. Yeah. And keep an eye out for that. Was a news story from earlier in the show. Okay. Yeah,
and don't hit the peacock.
And don't get a peacock stuck in your grill. We are all about life lessons here tonight.
Not good ones.
No,
not good ones. No, and don't throw corn cobs at your mother.
There's been a lot of shady shark going on here.
Those are my plans for the 4th of July.
All right. I was going to ask you to go through the shows you have coming up again, but you don't remember.
I already forgot them. I went through it halfway.
Your showcase
is Tree Bar, 3rd Tuesdays. If you're in Columbus, come to it. I run an open mic there every Thursday, too, if you want to come to that.
So you have 2 shows that you do all the time.
Oh, okay. And you don't remember either?
No, just remembered that I run a show
Cool.
every Thursday. Been doing it for 4 years.
I think I have a club or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What's your website, Tom?
TomPluteComedy.com.
TomPluteComedy.com.
At Tom Plute on Twitter. Plutonium on Instagram. Like my last name, not the element.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks for coming in, man.
Thank you for having me. This has been
talking
great.
to you. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Usually we're a little more tame. No, we're not. We're never.
Hopefully I didn't blow anyone's car up with my laughter.
But Charlie's going to blow it up with
It was
hers.
good. Yeah, she was.
Hell yeah.
She's blowing it up from that end anyway.
It's a bit musty in the studio.
Yeah, it is. It's
I'm gonna go.
Charlie, thank you for coming in. It's good to have you again. 2 weeks is far too long.
I
But,
know.
it
I'm
happens. It
sorry.
happens. That's all right.
I'm
That's
trying
all right. I'll
to
survive.
achieve world comedy domination.
Understandable.
I
Totally
can't-
understandable.
Yeah. So I
Is
gotta
that-
have
Is that
some.
what you're doing there? Is that?
No, my back hurts
Oh,
because
okay,
I've been
okay.
in my car for like 700 miles already. I got
Yeah,
700
that's
more to
rough.
go, so
Yeah,
that's fine.
that's okay.
I signed up for this.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not allowed
yeah.
to complain.
Yep,
but I can
that's
stretch.
that's the life. You can stretch all you want.
I know.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for tuning in, both of you. And hey, Will, you get us the hell out of here, Patrick. I'm just spent.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Life Radio Show podcast. Check us out on Eventide Entertainment Podcast Network or wherever you listen to podcasts. Remember, if you want to listen live, we're on Tuesdays from 7 to 9 p.m. on WWSU 106.9 FM, with repeats on Wednesdays from 10 to noon and Thursdays from noon to 2. You can also stream the show live at wwsu1069.org. If you have suggestions or comments for the show, feel free to email thelife1069@gmail.com.
The brutal presence overwhelms me. The brutal presence.
If you lived in that trailer park, you would understand.
Yeah.